You mentioned your visit to Kivalina a couple weeks ago. I appreciate the fact that you not only went to see Kivalina, but that you met with not only our Native leadership at their winter retreat, but also with the governor, the leadership in the House and the Senate, and the entire Alaska congressional delegation on issues that are of concern to us. You mentioned the funding in the budget that is available to help tribes and coastal communities. And when you were in Alaska, you mentioned that there was $8 million that could be made available by way of grants. I visited with the folks from the Northwest Arctic Borough region just yesterday in my office, and I asked them about accessing any of these funds that were available, and they described the offer as almost laughable, that in fact half of this $8 million in grants would not be made available to them, that when you're looking to build an evacuation route, or in many cases move a community, the costs that are associated are in the realm of $100 to $120 million for the community of Kivalina. And of course, we know that Kivalina is just one of many. And so they asked me to ask you this morning, what is your proposal, having seen Kivalina and the situation that community faces, what is your proposal to help address their immediate needs for an emergency evacuation route?
Thank you, Senator Murkowski. I, too, had an opportunity to drop in on a meeting with our friends from Northwest Alaska. The $8 million in the 2015 budget is intended to support tribal programs around resilience. It certainly never had an intent to relocate villages, but we have, since my visit to Kivalina, already visited with OMB, looking at potential areas in the budget where we might be able to move relatively quickly, not just for Kivalina, but many of the other coastal communities that are threatened. So, the first step is planning and understanding options, and I certainly got some very helpful insights when I was in Kivalina about the decisions that the village itself is facing and what it wants to do. So there is certainly not enough money in the 16 budget and the 15 budget to do any major changes. That would require probably subsequent legislation, but I think working alongside the state, understanding what other federal resources we can bring to bear, which we are currently investigating right now, is a good step forward to trying to figure out these very difficult situations that your state faces.
Well, I think you would probably agree that we need a full-on action plan because, again, it's not just Kivalina we're talking about. And as our governor has reminded you, with a $3.5 billion hole in our budget and the price of oil not looking like it's going to increase in the near term and production only going down, that's a concern for us, how we deal with that state share.